Hello, my name is Samuel Warwick. I have autism. The entertainment industry has been a huge part of my childhood. So, by being inspired to see other entertainment podcasters interviewing other people from television shows, I decided to do one myself. To know about some funny behind the scenes, bloopers, and some stuff that we probably didn't know about while they were making the certain type of show. This is Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick. Let's go to the podcast now. Alright, and we are on. Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk with Samuel Warwick. This is the 20th episode. Episode 20. I'm excited. This is where we talk. This is a podcast where we talk about, stuff from nostalgia till now. I am your host, as always, Samuel Warwick, and here with me today, I have, of course, the one that's been since for forever, Wyatt McCullough. And
Thank you.
There we go. And I have somebody that's returning who hasn't been on since we had Ricky Boyd on. We have Mason McGinnis.
Hello, folks. Glad to be back.
All right.
Glad to have you back.
Thank you.
Who we got today?
So, today, our guest today has been a puppet designer for Henson, for the Henson Company. He has designed for shows such as The Hoobs, Kermit Swamp Years, and of course, one of my favorites, which is actually a lost gem out there, underrated gem out there, Animal Jam. And he is here with us right now. It's Edward.
Mm-hmm.
Edward. Okay. Eyth. If I got that correct. If it's Eyth or Eyth, I don't know what it's called. Eyth. Okay.
There you go.
There
Whatever.
But anyway, how are you doing today?
Close enough.
How are you doing today?
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah, how are you?
I'm doing well. I'm really pleased to meet you. Boy, I'm so impressed with your work and your the amount of podcasts you've done. But yeah, I'm pleased to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
20th guest. You're that's big.
Yeah, you're
Wow.
the 20th. Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Are there any prizes for that?
That is really awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And honestly, before we begin with this interview, I just want to say how very grateful I am for 20 episodes of this. You guys have been amazing. And for all the 20th guests that we have had, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for all the guests that have been on here. Thank you. Thank you so much. But anyway, Mr.
Yes.
Edward, before we get into the shows and all the interesting topics,
Well, on behalf of all the guests, I'll say you're welcome.
all right. Well,
Yes.
There you go.
yeah. But anyway, I would like to ask, how did you get started into the business journey of doing what you're doing? So, how did you get into puppet making or designing or however you call it? Yeah.
Puppet designing and all that other stuff.
Yeah,
you
puppet
did.
designing.
Yeah, well, the brief bullet point was I always liked to draw when I was a kid. In college, I studied design. I graduated and studied, I graduated and I worked in the film industry in Hollywood for a few years, and then I moved to New York.
Wow.
And in 1995, I was hired by the Henson Company. And,
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was really fortunate because I was in New York and there wasn't much going on there. I'd done some consulting work, and then I got the job offer at the Henson Company. And I remember they called me because I was pretty fed up with New York. I was about to move back to LA, and I got this call saying, "Would you be interested in working in our creative department?" And I tried not to, scream ecstatically, but yes, I would definitely love to work in your creative department because I've always loved Jim Henson. I've always loved the company and the work they do, and it was just an honor even to be asked to work there.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's an awesome story.
Nice.
That is an awesome story. So, for my next question is, oh my goodness, this is gonna get little, but since that was a very short story, how may I ask? How did you of course you got into. I think you just mentioned the whole Henson story, but how. So what show should I start with first? Since you already got into Henson, what show should I start with first? I might start.
Here, you want me to ask it? What was the first show you worked on?
Yeah, what was the first show you worked on?
The first show I worked on at Henson.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
There's a question.
It's interesting because I didn't work on shows all the time. When I started working there, I was doing a variety of things, including designing consumer products, because every company in the world wants to put Muppets on their product because they sell.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the Muppets. So I was designing products. I was designing presentations. Like often Henson Company would present a show concept to anything from the National Association of Recording Artists to other entertainment companies, and it was always sort of this collaborative process where I would be given a script and I'd design maybe sets or puppets and things like that. But the first real show I worked on, well, I think it might have been The Wobulous World of Dr. Seuss.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention about that. Yeah, you did work on that show. How was it like to work on that show?
Yeah, what was that like?
Oh, it was fantastic. I have to tell you that when you love to draw and you get to do it for a living, it's it's like Jim Henson said. When you love what you're doing, it's not really work. So on the one hand, it was really fun just to go in there and I'd get a script, I'd design the sets, I'd design the characters. A lot of the Dr. Seuss project was basically translating these two-dimensional Dr. Seuss drawings into three-dimensional puppets and sets and trying to keep it consistent. So, but I have to tell you, as much as I loved every project I worked on there, I loved working at the Henson Company. It was fun, but it was also work. Like my days were very busy. The deadlines were tight. There was a lot to do. And, when you're not only designing a show, but at the same time, you have to go back later to your desk and design some products and design some graphics and things. So it was really busy, but again, it was the kind of work that I was just found so satisfying. And when you're doing, the wholesome work and the family-focused entertainment that Henson produces, it was a highlight of my career, that's for sure.
That's awesome. The Wobulous World is incredible, and I've actually had the opportunity of meeting the guy who played the second cat, Martin P. Robinson, on another podcast I was a part of, and he's super nice.
I've interviewed some people from that show already. I've interviewed people from that show.
I was going to say, for The Wobulous World, Dr. Seuss, I think I remembered I first got to meet John Kennedy last year when he played Horton in that show.
Oh, yeah, he's incredible. I also interviewed him.
John Kennedy is one of my favorite people that I met. The puppeteer work he does is excellent. I mean, he's just the sweetest guy. Cool. I'd like to have him as a friend.
He does.
Just to hang out with. Just the coolest guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he sounds really cool. He sounds like he would sound really cool to hang out with somebody. He would sound pretty cool. John Kennedy. He was a nice guy.
You interviewed him, didn't you?
Yeah.
Last year in March.
Yeah, last year in March. Yeah, he was really fun. He had a lot of stories about what he's done. He's had a journey too, and he's probably one of the most popular people we have on here.
Yep. Yeah. Stephanie DeBruzzo is amazing on that show also. I interviewed her.
Stephanie's awesome. And John is not only a great puppeteer, but he builds his own puppets. He's like a great puppet builder.
Oh, yeah.
I think I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did do that.
Yeah.
Okay, I also got another question. Did you may have happened to work on Bear in the Big Blue House by any chance, or no?
I did some preliminary work on Bear in the Big Blue House for the presentation. But when it went into production and they were building the puppets, I did some puppet designs for it too. But I have to say, all the puppets on Bear in the Big Blue House, I think all of them, possibly not Luna, because I think she was designed by someone else, but they were designed by a talented puppet designer by the name of Paul Andraco. And Paul has since gone on. He's got his own company called Puppet.
We might find it.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Didn't he work on Animal Jam too? I think he did. Didn't he do stuff for
did.
Animal Jam too?
I think.
He designed Bozark. Is it Bozark? The big elephant?
Yeah.
The custom size elephant. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to be. Yeah.
Yeah, the other puppets for Animal Jam I designed, but he designed that elephant, and I wish I could say I designed that elephant because I think it's the best puppet on the show. It's just, it's a walk-around puppet and that big trunk and everything, and Paul again, he's a puppeteer, so he knows how to build puppets so they're performable.
Yeah.
But he also knows how to build these puppets. I mean, the characters on Bear and the Big Blue House, you love all of them. They're so charming. And
We'll have to find him. I'd love to talk to him.
Yeah, he's got his company's called Puppet Heap in New Jersey, and he'd be a great guy to give you some insights into Bear.
I'd love to talk to him. Bear's incredible. It's
Actually, you know what? I think I may have contacted him, Paul. I know I contacted another puppet person from there. I'll have to see. Yeah, because I know I contacted somebody else from there. I just can't, remember. I think it might have been Paul. So, but
there you go.
Bozark's awesome. Yeah, Bozark's awesome, by the way, especially the guy inside him who I've been trying to interview, but no luck. David Maida.
Yeah. Is that who it was? Yeah. See,
David Maida. Mm-hmm. He also did Julie on Julie and Pals.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Julie. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people know what that show is, but boy, it's a good show.
That's a classic. Bring it back. We need it nowadays.
Yes. We should.
I wish they did bring it back.
I know that you did work on the Hoobs. How you designed the puppets for the Hoobs, didn't you? You designed Ivan, Tula, and all of them.
I did, and I have to tell you that may have been my favorite show, just because number one, it was just it was really popular. It went, it was popular sort of in the UK, and then I think it came to the States for a while. But
yeah, it did.
Yeah. I think it only aired on Sprout in the States. It only aired on Sprout in the States.
It was on Sprout, I think.
But then it started streaming.
Yeah,
back in the US a couple of years ago. So that was really it was nice. Yeah,
the Jim Henson Family Hub on YouTube as well.
It's actually on Sensical if you guys want to check it out. Check out the show. It's on Sensical. If you guys don't know,
nice.
Is that right?
Sensical is like a streaming service that they do. That's not but a streaming TV service, and it's definitely something you should check out.
Yeah.
So.
Well, apparently it got a lot of exposure on different cable networks. Because a couple of years ago, I got an email from a woman in Iran who saw my work online. She saw some sketches for the Hoops, and she just wrote to tell me, thank you for designing those puppets. I love that show. So she's Iranian, and she saw the Hoops, I guess, on some cable network, and just said it had an impact on her, and she loved the characters and everything. It's just, again, that's one of the big benefits of having worked at Henson. I get contacted by people from around the world saying, that's awesome. I grew up on the Muppet Show, or I learned to speak English from Sesame Street, and but the Hoops. The other thing that made the Hoops fun is the production took place in the UK, so I had to, my office was in New York, but I had to fly to the UK and London and the Creature Shop there and work with the builders over there back and forth.
Yeah.
And so, but actually the puppets were built in New York, from what I remember. But the Hoops was.
The Hoops
is
a really good show.
Awesome.
Yeah. So one of my favorite parts is where.
Can I share? I got.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was going to change the subject, but let's stay on the Hoops until we finished it. So what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was about to say, I like the part where they go visit the Tiddly Peeps. I wonder how, they call the kids Tiddly Peeps, and I'm like, that's funny.
Yeah.
They call them Tiddly.
Maybe it's just.
And an interesting side note. I don't know. I don't think this is well known, but when I designed the puppets, and I always design things. I designed the character, in pencil sketches in black and white, and you get the design approved before you apply color. So the designs were all approved. So it was like, what color are these hoops going to be? So I'm trying to figure out, what color should I use? So I don't know what's compelled me to do this, but I was looking at something online, and I found a photograph of the cover of the Sgt. Pepper's band from the Beatles, Project Pepper's Band.
I love the Beatles.
Yeah.
I love the Beatles.
Mm-hmm. And the Beatles on that cover, they're all wearing these bright, like chartreuse and pink, and I just thought, well, those are perfect for colors. So each one of the hoops sort of became a color derived from the Beatles jackets on the cover of the. Probably shouldn't say this. Maybe that'll be a lawsuit pending now because I used the color. I doubt it. But anyway, yeah, it was just
that was years ago.
Oh god!
Just gave me a great source for colors that were that worked pretty well for each one of the characters.
Hey,
that's awesome. I never knew that.
Yeah,
the thing you never know.
Ideas from somewhere.
There you go. Stealing is the best way.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you got Austin coming after you. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but just as only as you don't completely steal it. That's just make the idea that somebody else has and put it into your own idea. That's what I normally say.
There you go.
So
make it your own.
Yeah.
I think so. We're all influenced by other artists, and I think there's no way to get around it. But yeah, as long as you're just you don't want to plagiarize completely, but how can you not be inspired by other great people?
Of course. Right. And writing is always, like writing or, designing or, what you're just doing, You come up with those characters. You come up with character personality.
Well, Sammy, I got to ask you.
Yes?
There you go. He has
just out of curiosity, which hoop was your favorite?
I don't know. I kind of like Ivor. I don't know how you spell Ivan because
It's Ivor.
Yeah, Ivor. Thank you, Ivor. I like Ivor because Ivor's pretty cool, and I mean, well, of course, my favorite female's Tula, of course, because Tula's there, and I also do know another puppeteer that's up there that was also another puppeteer up in the UK, Rebecca Nagan. She was one of the.
I don't think I met her.
Oh, you never met her? Huh? That's okay.
What does she do?
She's a puppeteer up in the UK. I think she also did from another UK exclusive show, Barnaby and Becky. It's interesting. I'll have to show you guys about it. It's actually Barnaby and Becky is a really good show. Definitely something I recommend checking out.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say for my favorite hoop, I really liked Groove because he was always groovy.
There you go.
The way he looks.
Now, Groove, is Groove the one with the green one?
Yes, he's
the long with all that long hair. Yeah.
That was my favorite too, because that's the first time I designed a puppet that you couldn't see his eyes, and he works well, and I think he's pretty fun. It's almost like a sheepdog.
Yeah, like a mixture of Sesame Street.
That totally makes sense.
Yeah, like a mixture of Sesame Street and. And you know what? You want to know what's what? So I think that there was a girl she was in one of the Tiddly Peeps sections. She confirms that her name is Connie. I think I've seen her in another UK thing that I watched a couple of years ago. She did like a Nick Jr. thing called you wouldn't know the song. It's called the Jimmer Jam.
I haven't heard.
Yeah, it's called you guys have to look the Jimmer Jam. If you look up the Jimmer Jam, I'll have to show you guys it. It's very interesting. It's actually really good. But that girl looked so familiar. That girl looks so familiar. And I'm like, wait.
Boy, you
never know. It might be the same person.
Yeah, it might be.
I was gonna say you must have a really good memory if you can remember people like that.
Yeah.
It might be the same person.
I'll have to show you guys it. But anyway, The Hoobs is a very fantastic British show, and it's kind of up there with, maybe, we've had some people that have worked also. I think the composer that did some things for the company also worked on Thomas and Friends, Ed Welch. He worked on the later modeled era of Thomas. That's something else interesting. That's another interesting fact.
That's cool.
Oh, no kidding.
So, anyway, well, moving on. So, moving on to your work at MGM. So, starting with, Kermit Swamp Years, how was it like to work on that?
Yeah. How did that come about for you?
Well, Swamp Years, it wasn't really MGM. I mean, it was still a Henson production, so they had control of the puppets and everything else. So again, it was one of those situations where, we're going to do this film. Here's the script. There's a couple new characters in there that need to be designed, and then we need Kermit, and we need to make him look like he's younger, like he's 10 years old. So I had to do some adjustments to Kermit, and they rebuilt the puppets so that he looked younger and a little bit softer, as kids do when they're younger. And then, it was designing. My favorite thing to do is design characters. So I designed, oh God, I'm going to have trouble remembering their names, but his two friends, the guy with goggles, I guess, with the glasses.
Yep, there's Goggles, Croaker.
Yeah.
Croaker.
That's two friends. Yep.
And then the bully frog. Who's the frog that was kind of like the
Oh,
mean
that's
guy with the...
Splotch. The bullfrog's name is Splotch.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can remember.
So I got to design those characters too. And again, asking me to design characters is like asking me to eat a piece of apple pie. It's like, no problem. I love designing characters. My process usually involves, okay, here's the character. He's going to be either mean or he's going to be like a nerd with glasses. And I'll do like 10 or 20 different thumbnail sketches, just options. And then it's sort of like the what if phase, I call it. So what if it looked like this? What if it looked like that? What if it looked like this? And then you present those, and whoever the decision maker, either the director or sometimes Brian Henson, sometimes it was a producer or someone would say, okay, well, I like this one and this one, or can we take the eyes off this one and put them on this one? And eventually you narrow it down to like 2 or 3, and then they finally design on the final design, and then you apply color to it, and then it goes to these amazing puppet builders. If you just give a drawing with a couple turnarounds to the puppet builders, and they make it, they never fail to do something beyond my expectations, because there's, some of those puppet builders were hired by Jim Henson. They've been doing it for decades, and they were just the best of the best, of course. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It was.
Go back to John Kennedy. Go back to John Kennedy. I know John Kennedy worked on that project.
No, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
And the other thing I had to do on that project is the first time I got to design aside from Dr. Seuss, I got to design a computer-generated character, Horace the Fly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah,
and I have to tell you, when you're designing a puppet that has to be, when you have to design a puppet that has to be performed, there's all sorts of constraints. Like it has to be, ideally, you have to be able to move the mouth. I mean, Kermit's the best example of an expression, that you can get expression from. Because you can do anything with his face. He's just a sock. But when you're designing a puppet, it has to be lightweight. Can't be too big. You have to be able to move it in a way that, you can't have the head be too tall. Because if you got a puppet with a mouth here and his head's too tall, it starts doing this when you're puppeteering it, and the head starts going back. So there's all these things that I learned as I worked there about designing puppets so they perform effectively. But boy, when you're designing a computer-generated puppet,
just go crazy.
Rules are much less. Yes, you can do anything. You have a giant head. So that's when I decided with Horace. I thought I'd give him that that side mouth where you can see like his teeth and his mouth is kind of open from the side.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Bill Beretta that did the voice for him. Am I right about
Bill
that?
Beretta. Yeah.
I don't know.
But
he's awesome. Bill Beretta is.
Oh yeah, he's the best.
We had what try to get him on.
Yeah, Bill Beretta is great.
Yeah, Bill did Johnny Fiamma as another puppet I designed. Bill did Johnny Fiamma.
He's still going to this day. He's Pepe and Dr. Teeth, if I'm right. I think he's Dr. Teeth.
Yeah.
He's still going to this day. He's Pepe and Dr. Teeth.
And wasn't he like that?
Pepe.
Wasn't he like that?
It's another puppet.
Dude.
And both with a bear.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's got green skin and he's got a tall forehead, so he does look kind of Frankenstein. He's supposed to be like an Italian lounge singer.
Yeah.
He performed everybody.
That's what I thought, because that's a pretty cool.
But the thing about him that gives him more expression is when I when I designed him, I thought, he's going to be a lounge singer. He's supposed to be this smooth, kind of cool Italian guy. So I thought it would be really great to give him a mechanism in his eyebrows so he can do that, one eyebrow up, one down, like, hey, how you doing? So I put that in the drawings, and sure enough, they were able to rig it so the puppeteer has a little control on his thumb control. So when he's puppeteering Johnny Fiamma, he can control the eyebrows, and he can make one go up and one down. And it's all sort of one more way to add more expressive qualities to, more performability to the puppet.
That's awesome.
That is really.
Yeah.
That is an awesome story, my friend. You have an awesome story. This isn't
The
boring.
best story of the podcast yet. You won an award.
This is not boring.
That's the best story I think ever.
Can I share a story? I'd like to share a story. I think it's probably one of the most fun things I did when I was working at Henson. And I wonder if I could share screen because I could show you some artwork.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think you can.
Present now. Yeah, there's an option for that. Okay, let me find something online. I'm going to show it to you.
Okay.
But one of the first things I worked on when I was at Henson, I wasn't there very long, and they asked me, the woman that ran the marketing department, she said, Miss Piggy is kind of getting, matronly and kind of a little bit out of style. Is there anything that you can do to make her look fresher or more contemporary? Yeah. So I was basically being hired to do an extreme makeover on Miss Piggy. So I sat down and I just started sketching. Hold on, I'm gonna try and share screen right now.
Hopefully this won't try to kick me out or whatever.
Yeah, if I crash the system, I apologize, but this should work.
It should.
Present now. Okay, share screen.
Let's see. I'll see if I can receive it. Let's see if I can see it.
Oh, there it is.
There it goes.
There it goes. Yep. There it goes.
Okay. So you're seeing Miss Piggy?
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Oh,
there
wow.
You go.
Nice.
Oh,
okay. This is going to be some behind the scenes stuff, guys. So,
yeah.
This is going to be some behind the scenes. So I'm going to have to cut this out. And this is going to be some behind the scenes stuff once this audio gets out. So, well, actually, you're seeing it right now, folks.
Oh,
Yeah, you're seeing it right now, but not really. You're hearing it.
Yeah.
I don't know why you have to cut it out, but anyway, so I'm working on Miss Piggy, and I just started sketching her with I went to the local newsstand, I bought a fashion magazine, and I put her in this zipper dress over here, and then I put her in this sort of Vegas-y, over-the-top kind of thing, and then back then, business suits for women were in, and this sort of bedhead look. And then I just started drawing her in more contemporary clothes. So this little cocktail dress. Oh, wow. And then I just took the actresses that were popular at the time. I gave them the same hairstyle as Gwyneth Paltrow and Laura Linney and Mira Sorvino. So, and then there's another sort of Guess jeans were really popular back then. So I put her in sort of a Guess jeans outfit.
Oh wow!
But anyway, I did all these drawings and I handed them off to the puppet building department, and I never heard anything back. And then a couple weeks later, I'm in my apartment getting ready to go to work, and I had TV on Today Show, and I hear from one of the people on Today Show saying, "And now our special guest, Miss Piggy," and sure enough, there was Miss Piggy in that green zipper dress I had drawn, and she had the Jennifer Aniston hairstyle. So you can see before she was. Yeah. Nothing much changed on Miss Piggy from when she was built back in like the 70s. So she was in much need of a makeover, so I was able to do a makeover on Miss Piggy. And I think she looks more contemporary, don't you?
Yeah,
she does.
Yeah, only.
Yeah, so that was fun to work on. And I worked on that, and I went to bed that night, and I thought to myself, I just spent the day styling a pig. What other company would you be able to do that at? So let me see if I can stop the share here now.
You should be.
You should. But
that stuff. There you go.
Yeah, so
that's awesome. You gotta keep that in.
Yeah, really cool. That was awesome.
Fun project.
That was really
I had so many
awesome.
projects where I was just pinching myself working on some of these projects, thinking this is the coolest thing ever.
That was amazing. That was really cool. So.
Yeah. Well, Sam, how old were you when Animal Jam came out? You must have been pretty young.
I was actually maybe 2, but I was probably 2 when I probably heard about it. I was probably 2 when it first came out. I was 1 when they were making the show, because the show was making in like late spring of 2002, so I was a year old when I did the research on it. But I probably didn't see it. I probably didn't see the show till maybe I was 3. Maybe I don't.
I want to say. Keep going. I want to say I was in my teens when I saw it. There you go.
Yeah. But Sam, you were into puppets at an early age then.
Yeah. But yeah, because I watched shows like Sesame Street, of course, Bear in the Big Blue House, Between the Lions. I've watched a bunch of puppet shows throughout my life. So the fact that you can see all these puppets going around, that's that's incredible. Yeah, I was like a year old when I first saw. Not a year old, but I was like maybe 2 or 3 years old when I saw Animal Jam. I don't remember what they were doing. I don't remember an exact episode what they were doing. I don't remember entirely. I think I might remember the 3 kids.
Me either.
I might have remembered the particular kids, because I do remember that particular Big Body Hello intro, but I don't remember what episode they were doing. I don't remember the very first episode I saw, but fun fact, I actually had peanut butter for like breakfast one morning on like a spoon, and then I was going to preschool, or I was either going to preschool or going to like an autistic therapy OT session thing. I can't remember. No. I can't entirely remember where I was, but I know I went somewhere that day after I saw the episode, because I watched it right after High Five came on.
High Five's incredible.
High Five's another good show, definitely. But
I don't remember what age I was. All I know is I grew up with puppets and stuff in the '90s, because that's when I was born.
I was gonna say.
Sorry, go ahead, Mason.
I was mostly grew up with Bear in the Big Blue House. There was also, I can remember, Eureka's Castle, Allegra's Window, and then, of course, Animal Jam. I was about between almost 3 or 4 when it debuted back in the late winter of 2003. I was at my grandma's house on one morning, and then she turned on something different. I was like, what is this? And I was like, I was so surprised how cute the characters were. I was like, oh my god, this show was so good. I had to find some lost media for it back then when I started growing up and doing research back then when I was in high school. Yeah. And I remembered back in 2016 or 2017, they had Animal Jam on Tubi. And then I got to see all the episodes at the time. And as I can remember, they took it off back in early 2018. And when I tried to find it, I was like, it's gone.
Yeah.
And I was like,
maybe
they'll bring it back on another platform.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the show was fully streaming.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah. It was streaming at the time between my junior and senior year, so in high school. So
yeah, I hope they keep making puppet shows, because there's not too many anymore. And
there is.
I love Pixar. I love computer generated characters, and I love all the new technology that's enabling it to make all sorts of amazing immersive entertainment. But boy, there's something about puppet shows and the aspect that there's a human being that's actually controlling that and performing and everything. It's just, there's something so charming about that. I hope it never gets to a point where they just don't make puppet shows.
Yeah, I know.
I agree. And there aren't any now. Bring them back. I mean, Frog Rock, I feel like, Frog Rock and Don Quixote, I feel like they're the only 2 that's out there right now, because Frog Rock's coming back for season 2, whenever it is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you guys probably saw the new Labyrinth, right? Or was it the new
show? I saw.
Yeah,
I saw that one.
I need to see that.
And they did a lot of traditional puppetry, because everybody expected it to be more computer generated, because it's it's just so prevalent now. But I went to the Creature Shop. I happened to be in LA when they were working on pre-production for that, the Dark Crystal, and there were just so many little heads and Skeksis being built and everything. It was just such a treat to see the old-fashioned hand puppeteered puppets being built. And again, I don't have anything against Pixar, and because I love Pixar films and I love
Pixar
stuff, but that stuff, that's the real puppeteering stuff. It's just, I don't think that'll ever be replaced.
Yeah.
I don't think it was either. I know Muppets Mayhem got canceled, which sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can never tell what's going to hit and what's not, but Disney's doing their best with to make the puppets work, but I don't know.
Bring back Kermit, hopefully. We need a new Muppet movie that has Kermit in it. Last one, I don't remember what it was, but yeah.
Muppets Most Wanted came out like almost a decade ago, back in 2014.
That wasn't bad. That was pretty popular.
That wasn't. That wasn't bad. Haunted Mansion had him in it, but it wasn't fully him in it. The Muppets Haunted Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Muppet Haunted Mansion was great.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, if I may ask, how was it like to, work? How was it like to work to not, you probably weren't. I don't think you were on the production, but I'm sure you. How was it like, to design those characters? What came up with the idea with when you thought of like Edie and Waffle? What came up with all those designs?
And DJ wanted another.
Yeah, sometimes the script will have things sort of specified. Like they specified they wanted the two main characters to be a zebra and a monkey, so that narrowed it down for me. But there's still a lot of different things you could do. Like I probably did at least 25 or 30 variations on Waffle before we got to the final one.
Whoa.
And then,
wow.
And then there was some sort of, there's a little bit more flexibility with the other puppets, like the DJs, like the panda and the hyena and stuff. So, I think I was just experimenting with animals, and they picked out the ones they liked. But more often than not, the writers or the producers will have a pretty good idea when they put this pitch document or this script together. So when I get it, a lot of things are defined, but sometimes they're more open, and sometimes you have the flexibility to explore. But either way, my favorite part of the process is that initial what if phase, where what if the monkey had a big head and little ears, and what if, and just exploring those ideas before it gets narrowed down to that final design.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, because I saw some of the designs on your website. They look really cool.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. May
I said.
May I ask this? Did you design the shirts like where the kids wore, like the shirts that the kids wore? Did you design them?
I don't think that would have been him.
Or was that the Henson? I just want to make sure.
That might have been Henson.
Yeah, that might have been the Henson company that chose those logos. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, for Animal Jam?
Yeah, those, those
the kid shirts.
Yeah, like the shirts that the kids would wear.
Yeah, that was either done by because Henson had an entire graphic design team there too. The people that did sort of the consumer product graphics and the illustrations of Miss Piggy for a mug or anything like that. So they were really good at that. And that was either them or might have been because each production team usually has a costume designer, and often it's the costume designer that will orchestrate all the specific shirts and things that are themed for the show.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
So, that wasn't me.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I just wanted to to make sure if I just wanted to make sure that maybe I know you did say there's some things you can or can't answer, but I just wanted to make sure because you seemed like you were a good designer, so I thought
Yeah. But it was funny. I was always on in pre-production and always helping design sets or props or costumes and things like that. And then, with the exception of the Webeless World of Dr. Seuss, because I stayed on through production for that one, I usually went on to something else. As soon as they went into production, they didn't really need the design work anymore. It was all resolved and it was all built and they were ready to go. So I usually went on to work on something else. But yeah, it's there's no reason for me to be on the set other than that it was fun once in a while to show up and see what they're doing and see what the set turned out like.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah. I mean, that's understandable. I mean, that's definitely understandable. I mean, hey, a lot of the singers weren't on set when they did the show, so that's it would have been cool if you guys had the opportunity to see them, because you guys got a chance to help. So it would have been nice if the Henson Company would have letted you guys. Because you guys worked on the show too, and I feel like you guys need to see how everything works. I think that should be your right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's a lot of flexibility. I mean, if we wanted to, we could. But again, when I was designing the characters for Animal Jam, I was in Los Angeles. And I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, but the production was done in Orlando.
Yes.
I think they shot
it was.
Yes, it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it wouldn't be too practical for me to show up.
Yeah, I'm hearing that the pilot was done in L.A., though. Apparently it was the pilot for Animal Jam, and apparently that was done in L.A., too. That was done in L.A., but I don't entirely...
Is that right?
But I don't know the whole you know, I don't know the whole picture.
We don't know. We don't know the whole backstory on that.
Yeah, we don't know.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but
anything.
Mason seems to have a zebra on his lap.
Yeah.
Oh, this?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yes. Yeah, he got the
out.
E.
I bet you were wondering about this, where I got her from.
Where did you get it from?
Yeah,
I found it off of Etsy.
That's cool.
I was gonna say I found it off of Etsy, and this designer from Pennsylvania, I don't know where it was from, but she did give me the creator gave me a little card, but I don't know where it is right now. She had a design of Waffle and Edie, and I said, since the Waffle one was already sold to someone else, I was like, why don't I take Edie instead, the very rare one? Because she was like $85 to pay.
Wow, that's not bad.
Like, well, the way you look at her, she's got like pipe cleaners for her tail instead of normal mane tail, like usually zebras have.
Yeah.
And then she stitched the hooves and the hair. And all around, I was like, this kind of looked like her. And I was like, why not just have her? She's like, just keep her for memories to remember the show and stuff. So,
and Mason, that's a plush. That's not a puppet, right? Or is it a puppet?
It's a plush, though. I wish I had a puppet of her. I wished, but
Leslie would probably flip if she saw that.
Yeah.
You know what? If I changed it,
if we get her on, you're bringing that on.
I was gonna say, if I can change this plushie into a puppet, she would definitely be shocked. But
it looks like it might not be hard.
Yeah,
I mean, if I can learn the basics, then maybe I can surprise her with it and see.
There you go.
I mean, you never know.
That's awesome.
You know, for a homemade product that really looks like a professional puppet. I mean, it really looks like a really well duplicated version of Edie. I mean, I recognize her immediately. Of course, the colors give her away, but that's pretty well done.
Yeah, for the creator who made this, I was like, I had to thank her for that, for this cool design of her. Like, I didn't request it. It was on Etsy, and I was like, okay, I had to go get it.
Yeah, if you talk to her again, tell her the guy that designed the puppet wants to give her a high five for such a good job.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Now, this is one of the DVDs that I have right here. This is actually one of the rarest ones.
There we go.
Let's Jam Together. This was one of the rarest ones that was available. And I remember I actually ordered this back in like 2020. That's when I started fully doing more research on the show. And so, you know, the show really hit hard during the pandemic. I'll be honest with you. It hit really hard. And I was like, maybe I should do more of this. And this is one of the most rarest DVDs and probably my favorite that I ever have.
Nice.
But I do have two more. I have the Hug-A-Day and I have Springin', and they're in my box. And I'll have to when I get the chance. But not too many. But there's not too many episodes out there at the moment. I mean, there is, but not the full series is out.
Let's find the full series.
Yes, thank you. We're wanting the full series out there.
I have to ask you this, because going off Animal Jam and all that, you also worked on. You mentioned Florida. You worked on the ET ride in Universal. What was that like, and what did you think of the ride?
I did. I'd say after I graduated from college, I worked on my first film, which is so long ago you guys probably never heard of it. It's a Disney film called Flight of the Navigator.
No.
So, yeah, that's an old one. But it was a fun project. But the second project I worked on, I think you guys might recognize, because while I was working on Flight of the Navigator, I got hired to do storyboards and design for Captain EO.
Oh.
Anybody know what that one is?
I've
heard of it.
I think I've heard of it. I haven't, It
was a Michael Jackson theme park ride.
Oh, wow.
Movie.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, so that was my second project. But then, I was working mostly in film, but every once in a while there'd be sort of like a break in between projects, and I'd get asked to work on, I got asked to work on the ET ride, which was so much fun. And that was just, the fun part about that was they didn't know, so we're going to go back to ET's planet on this ride, his home planet, and what's it going to look like? And then what are the other ETs going to look like? Because some of the sketches I did suggested that, what if the ET that came to Earth was young and he was small, But then as he got older, he got taller and thinner and started to look more like one of the Close Encounters aliens. Like, not exactly like that, but so maybe that was a young ET. So there's just all these what if questions in terms of what's the planet going to be like, what's the plants going to be like, what's the architecture going to be like, and what are the other ETs going to look like.
Yeah.
So fun project.
What do you think of the ride, by the way?
I rode it once, and I really liked it. I mean, the whole idea that you're on this bike and you're flying over cities and stuff, I thought, at the time, for the technology that was available back then, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought the end was a little bit cheesy with all the, ETs jumping everywhere and water spraying and everything. But no, I thought it was, I thought it was well done, and people seemed to like it.
That's awesome. By the way, that was from our co-host, co-host on this podcast, Purple Muppet 18, but he's not here, so he wanted me to ask you that. Yeah. And he actually recently went to Universal, so I think he rode the ride for his birthday. His birthday was recently, same with Samuel's.
Yeah, it was the same as mine, so on the 8th.
So he was up at Universal recently.
Yeah, and the other ride that's recognized that I got to work on because I worked on the film, I got to work on the Back to the Future ride.
Oh, wow.
I went on there. Awesome. I went on that one before, Back to the Future. That was a fun ride at Universal Orlando.
What'd you think?
I really enjoyed the whole ride. I just loved everything. It's been like almost 10 years. I last time went to Universal when I went with my alma mater school band to perform at Universal and Disney World back then in my freshman year. So I really loved the designs of the ride that I got to enjoy, including the ET one as well. I forgot to mention too.
Well, they're all out of there now.
I need to get up there. Mm-hmm. I haven't been to Universal, but if I do, I'll go on ET because I know it's amazing.
Before. I rode on quite a bit of rides. I rode the Dr. Seuss ride. I rode the Spider-Man ride. Man, I did it back in 2008, and I even remember when Barney was there.
Yes, Barney is back. They took him out for whatever reason.
I don't know.
Well, they're putting in a DreamWorks. They're putting in a DreamWorks character appearances. Unfortunately, they said.
Yeah, but I don't like it.
Bring Barney back, honestly.
I don't.
Like I said, I need to get.
Or put him in a different theme park.
Yeah.
So I need to get back into Universal.
Yeah.
I need to get back to Florida and see what's new.
Yeah, same.
Where are you guys? Are you guys in California?
No.
I'm from Ohio originally.
I'm in Kentucky.
I'm from South Carolina.
I'm in Kentucky.
Okay.
So
and Ohio.
Okay. Yep.
Got it.
So yeah, we're all.
What part of Ohio? I grew up in Pittsburgh.
Cool.
Oh, what's up?
Oh wow, I there.
Oh. I mean, I'm more towards the Lake Erie area, not towards an hour away from Cleveland, but.
Got it.
So yeah, we're all on the East Coast. Yeah. I think you're in Georgia. You say you're in Georgia?
Yeah, I'm not far from you. I'm just south of you.
Yeah.
Hey, get me up. No, I'm kidding.
Cool.
Oh boy.
Now,
I spent most of my life in California and then some of it in New York, but I just I was offered a teaching position at a university here, so I moved to Savannah.
I did see about that, and that is really cool. Did you tell some of your classes that you worked with, some of your experience in television production? Did you tell them about that?
Yeah, I teach a couple classes in entertainment design, and they're always intrigued, especially the Henson project, because there's a lot of people that still love puppets, and some people that would still like to work for Henson. So yeah, they find it interesting, and I think it's great to teach now because. I've had all this experience in the industry. I mean, a lot of teachers, and I'm not trying to badmouth them, but there's a lot of teachers that have been teaching their whole lives, but I've been sort of working in the industry my whole life. So I bring sort of a different perspective. Not that there aren't some great teachers that are, have an entire academic career, but yeah. And I think students respond to the fact that, I can show them, here's the sketches I did for this show, and here's the sets I designed for this show. And,
that must be really cool.
It just, and yeah, it makes it more authentic, I think.
I wonder if any of them knew Animal Jam. That makes me wonder. Did any of them know Animal Jam at all, or no?
Probably not.
The classes I'm teaching are usually more film related, so I'll mention the films I've worked on, but nobody asked anything specific about the Henson Company other than, oh my God, I love the Muppets. So yeah, I haven't gotten too many students that are like, well, some of them have said I like Bear in the Big Blue House, but I haven't gotten any people saying, yeah, I know Animal Jam or I've heard of Animal Jam.
Well, you got Animal Jam fans here. That's no.
Yeah,
I guess. Glad to know.
Yeah, you got Animal Jam fans here. You do. So.
No, I'm a fan of any Animal Jam fans. So.
Thank you. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, you know what? Since I'm gonna go on ahead and get into our fan questions. Of course, we got at least 2 now.
Yeah, we have fan questions.
Yes. So we at least have 2 right now. We have 2 people who asked at least 3 questions, and actually Martin, who was actually one of the co-hosts here, who actually wanted to be here today, but he said he had a cold. So
sorry, or be coughing.
Yeah.
Next time.
So yeah, he was not able
to
make it.
That'd be cool. Would you come back? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Let me know as long as it's not when I'm teaching. Because my days are pretty full when I'm teaching. But if you guys want to talk about anything else, I'd be happy to. So
all right. Yeah. Of course.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
So these are Martin's questions. His first question is, when did you start doing character designs? And I think we've already, established. It's usually stuff we already established. That's what the fans normally ask. But that's fine.
Well, I don't know if we established that because I started doing character designs when I was about 6 or 7, really.
Oh, 6
wow.
or 7.
Not professionally,
so, wow.
but that's. Yeah, I used to love to draw even back then. I'm so fortunate because from an early age, I knew what I wanted to do with my life. I originally wanted to be a Disney animator, and that didn't work out. But yeah, I think I'm really blessed with the fact that I love drawing from an early age. So I'm basically still doing what I was doing when I was 7, only now I'm getting paid for it.
There you go.
There you go.
Right.
Hey, and his second question is, and we've already established this one. How did you create the characters of Edie and Waffle? That's probably we talked somewhat about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
it's just that sort of what if process, and you narrow it down.
It's
the same with any character.
Yeah.
But again, I can't take credit. It was scripted that they were going to be a monkey and a monkey and a zebra.
So that's pretty cool that y'all got the idea of a cow monkey. That's really awesome. A cow monkey, but like not a cow monkey, not like a monkey, but like a cowboy monkey. And then his third question.
I imagine that speaking of the waffle.
Continue, Wyatt.
It's kind of cool to see that. It's kind of cool to see that Waffle the puppet is still around, but he's missing his hat.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pumping up on Censor currently.
Yeah.
He's been repurposed, Yeah. So he still has a life. He just sort of he's doing different roles. He's like an actor. He does a whole lot of different roles.
Too. Pancake's on there too. Pancake's on there too. The water buffalo Pancake. Didn't you design her too? You designed Pancake too, didn't you? Or no?
Water buffalo. Was she on Animal Jam?
Yes.
Yeah. Towards the end of the series.
I don't think I did then, because I know I did the DJs, the panda, the hyena, and the koala. But I've seen the koala repurposed too. That's Puppets doing some other shows too. So yeah.
Oh.
But I don't know about Pancake.
So that's interesting. But that puppet was on Hannah Montana, just so you know. That was on.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it was on Hannah Montana. I forgot what episode it is, but I think it's on the 2nd season of Hannah Montana. Oh my goodness.
God, Samuel, you were just an encyclopedia. I worked for the company. I think you know more about it than I do. So if I have any questions, I'm going to give you a call.
There you go.
Okay.
You do. You come back and interview him.
That's what you do. Brain you have.
And you want to know what's
going to take your job.
Thank you. And you want to know what's interesting too? One of the jammers actually knows Miley Cyrus. I think Spencer Locke does, because I remember she was at she did something after she did something like after Animal Jam. She did a movie. You know the movie Monster House? Yeah, she was Jenny in that movie.
Yeah.
She was Jenny in there, and she was one of the jam room dancers. That's really cool that we got so...
I can't make this a joke. I gotta make this a joke. He comes back. He's going to interview you if you know more than him.
Thank you.
There you go.
Oh gosh.
That'd be fun. Let's do it.
Oh my goodness, this is news.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. This is news to you, Mr. Edward. This is news to you, Edward.
Yeah, probably.
I'm glad I'm on this podcast because I'm learning more than I have in years.
And then Martin wants to know.
You don't need Wikipedia. You just go to Samuel.
Yeah. And then Martin wants to know what's your favorite puppet characters that you've designed, and you've already established that too. So, yeah, you said that.
What, of all the characters I've designed?
Yeah, probably all the characters. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe he wants to know all.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that is a tough question. There's so much to answer.
Yeah, I'm just sort of trying to rummage through my head and think about all the different characters I designed for different shows and stuff. But the favorite character design that I did for Henson, I may have to be Johnny Fiamma, because I think the best compliment I got from Johnny Fiamma was Bill Beretta, the puppeteer, told me that he said he loves doing Johnny Fiamma because he said Johnny is the closest thing to my real personality. So I designed a puppet that matches sort of what Bill is, and he's this pretty successful puppet. Yeah. But I enjoyed doing Johnny.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it'd be cool. You mentioned Bill Beretta. If we get him, and then maybe you come on in the come on, see you two on together.
Yeah.
You know, it would
That'd
be
cool.
It would be a distraction. If you're going to have Bill on, Bill has so much information. You should just do him solo and focus on him because he's got an amazing amount of space. He worked on all the films.
Yeah.
And he was in he was actually the giant in Jack and the Beanstalk. I don't remember that, but that was a Brian Henson film. So he's a remarkable performer. So much experience, and having done Pepe, having done Bobo the Bear, he's just you need to get him. You need to get him.
I want to interview him. A podcast I was a part of recently interviewed him.
Yes.
I was gonna say, I remember as Bill played one of the non-Muppet characters named Phil in the movie called Happy Time Murders. I do have that movie though.
Yeah.
And I have to give credit to Bill for all his work. It was totally amazing. It's just how he worked it out. I have to give him credit for that.
That's the last Henson project I worked on. I designed some of the characters for Happy Time Murders, but not Phil. I can't take credit for Phil.
Yeah. Hey, on the subject of that, what was that like? Designing those characters or working on that movie?
It was a blast. And once again, I got a call from Brian Henson out of the blue saying, I'm doing this film. Can you design some characters? And have you guys seen the film?
Yeah,
I have not, but I know my friend Purple is a co-host on here. Can't be here today.
Yeah. Well, it was a departure in terms of content because it's an adult film. It's pretty much for adults, and the humor's all adult. And so, so it's the first time I was ever designing puppets. And when my sons would walk in the room, I'd have to cover it up because some of the stuff I was drawing was a little bit grown up. So, but it was such a great change because I'm so used to doing. I love doing family stuff. Don't get me wrong, but it was just so refreshing to do something. I think Brian felt the same way. Just wanted to do something with puppets for adults instead of puppets. Puppets aren't exclusively for kids.
Yeah.
There's some great puppet shows.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I'm talking about.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. So at least, older, wiser fans get a chance to express themselves. You can do something for older, wiser fans. I like it.
There you go.
You got to do something
and
for
if I'm correct,
fans.
Yeah, and if I'm correct, didn't the movie get hate on something from Sesame Workshop?
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a conflict in there because there was something in the script that, the way they promoted it, I think, it's the promotional tagline was something about all street but no Sesame, and then Sesame Street wasn't happy with that. But
oh wow,
it didn't directly disparage Sesame Street in any way. But anyway, that was just a minor detail. But the show, it was just a fun, different take on puppets. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But imagine the whole concept was puppets exist with people. It's almost like Roger Rabbit, like cartoons exist with human beings, and the whole concept just was so exciting to me. I thought, I hope they can pull this off. was
That's
sure
awesome.
It was tough. It was tough production, but it was. I think it's it was a blast to work on that film.
I might have to check it out. And Roger Rabbit's an underrated movie. It's a classic.
Yeah, it is. It is. So.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. All right,
back to Samuel's questions.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into Tori's, and this is Tori Jane Benson. Okay, by the way, Tori, I just want to shout you out. Tori has answered the most questions this year for the podcast. So, Tori,
she's asked the most.
Thank you for being. Thank you, Tori. I'm gonna have to reward you. I'm gonna give you a reward. Much. I'm gonna give you a treasure reward for this, because you have been the most active on my podcast outside of, of whomever. You, and then when he's not here, Martin. So, thank you. And the questions that
Sam's
she
got a fan base too.
Are
he's going to be famous. Next thing you know, he's going to be in a movie.
Yeah. She asked.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah. She asked, "What is your favorite work of art that you did?" And I think you showed us it earlier. I'm gonna.
You did.
Yeah. This is mainly the reason why you asked does it have to be cut out? Well, this is an audio thing mainly, but I don't mind showing behind the scenes to this. I am going to show behind the scenes to this. So this is mainly audio, but there is going to but we do plan to maybe release footage of how this is how you see the recording of each episode.
We should.
At this point, and I'm probably going to upload them all to archives.
I like that idea.
That's going to be something exclusive really soon. So make sure to check that out, guys. And yeah. But yeah, yeah,
you should be able to use that image, and if you want to just get a still of it, that was all off of my website. So if you go to website eyth.com and then the puppet section, you'll be able to find those images in Miss Piggy.
Yeah, and so you just showed us your favorite one there, and that was the Miss Piggy one, which was I think that was your favorite one, but I don't know.
Well, she's asking my favorite piece of art or my favorite puppet design.
No, your favorite piece of art.
Yeah, it was probably Miss Piggy project because it was just that was my favorite. One of the first things I did when I was there, and it was just such a fun job to do a makeover on Miss Piggy. So yeah, she's probably right.
And she also wants to know who were your biggest inspirations, and I think you probably have said that too, but I think you said Bill Beretta is probably one of them. But if you have any more, let me know.
Yeah, well, Bill is a great collaborator, and Bill was such a great puppeteer. Yeah, I do find inspiration in him. But when I was growing up, it was more sort of Walt Disney and Norman Rockwell,
and nice.
Yeah, sort of some painters. And then as I got older, there's a concept artist from Los Angeles who passed away recently. His name is Sid Mead, who did a lot of sci-fi stuff. And so
rest in peace.
Mostly artists like that. Yeah. Do you know Sid's work?
No.
I don't think I do. I'll have to.
Yeah, he's not well known. Mostly in the sci-fi genre. People recognize his work pretty well. He did a lot of the designs for Blade Runner and Tron. He's responsible for the look of Tron, the first Tron movie. So he's he's one of the.
And then her third question is, what do you like best about puppet designing? Well, of course, it's I think it's you get to do your own work, get your own inspirations, it's.
Well, I don't know if this answers her question, but if she was asking what I like about puppet design, I think number one, I love puppets and seeing puppets perform. But the thing I really loved about working at Henson in particular and designing puppets is I'd go to bed at night feeling like I had done something positive for my culture in terms of work for kids and shows that are wholesome and family oriented. And there's so many projects I worked on in Hollywood that were about lasers and blowing things up and devastated future Earth and all these sort of negative things. But boy, when I worked at Henson, even if I spent the day designing just like a Miss Piggy keychain or something, I just always felt like I felt like I was doing something wholesome and something that was by its very essence just a good project.
Thank you. Well, Tori and Martin, I hope these answer you guys' questions. And also, I want to say thank you both for really
keep supporting the podcast.
Thank you both for answering questions for my podcast. You guys are the best when it comes to answering questions.
Stuff's coming in the new year. Tons of new episodes.
Stuff will be coming in the new year, and I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see who we have in 2024. And
I do too.
I'm really, guys.
You might be getting Loretta.
Yes, that will definitely. That will be definitely one of the plans. And also, one of my things in 2024 is okay. So there's a few things. I do have a petition that's actually been up for a while to get Animal Jam found, either streaming or or on the Family Hub in a way. I do have a. So if anybody would like to contribute to that, I don't think I've ever shown you this, Mr. Eyth or Earth or Edward. I'm just calling you Edward.
You got it right the first time.
That's fine. I like Edward.
Okay. Edward, I do have a petition. I meant to send you that before, but I think I also maybe asked a couple of years ago to you. I think I may have emailed you firsthand about a couple of years ago, asking if you knew anything about any lost media about the show being lost, and if you knew anything about having any. And you've confirmed to me that you don't have any footage or any footage or any tape, anything.
Yeah, I'm not a wealth of information like you are, but yeah, if you got a petition or something, is it online that you can sort of give out a link?
Yes, I'm gonna send it to you once we get off here, and this is another fun This is another fun interview, guys.
All the interviews have been fun.
All the interviews have been fun. I need to ask people what were their favorite interviews so far. Because so far, this is one of them right here. It is.
Because
we got a chance to talk to you. You seem like, we seem like, I seem like that, I get to know, you actually knew more information from me. And I've been doing a lot of research on this show since 2020. And
yeah.
It's been a real blast. It's been a real blast to know that there's just a fan base there's a mini fan base of this show. Like, I didn't know there was I actually didn't know that there was I didn't even know that the show was fan based. Like, of course every show has a fan, just a fan, but I didn't know that it was this much of a fan base in depth, which is really cool.
Yeah.
And I found that out.
Yeah, it's always good to hear.
Ripping my, dumping my DVDs and posting the songs from the DVDs from it. It was just absolutely it was heartwarming because I actually felt respected somewhere. And I actually have never been respected before because, as you can see right here, I am part of the Thomas the Tank Engine fan base right here and this little character right here that I have is Edward too. Fun fact. So, that's another fun fact. Yeah. This number 2 engine's Edward 2, but
that's fun fact.
I was a part of the Thomas fan base, and I'll be honest with you, not a lot of people really treated me with the respect that I truly wanted. But when I came to the Animal Jam fan base, everybody just said thank you, and everybody was grateful for it.
Yeah, well, send me a link to the petition. I'll definitely sign up for it. I'd love to see. It's always flattering when people like the work that
thank you.
Project
And any contribution, if anybody would like to contribute to it, please contribute. That would be awesome. We can get, and another thing I would like to happen.
All right, guys.
I would also love to see if we can if we can do some type of a reunion, like a fan base reunion.
Oh my gosh, yes.
For the show, that would be awesome. Oh, I think you got to go in a little bit, but I do have one more. We do.
Yeah, I got to dismiss myself.
Yeah.
All right,
We're about to wrap up.
We can ask it really quick.
Take it away.
So this is Entertainment Treasure Talk with me, Samuel Warwick, and this is the question. When you think of entertainment treasure, what is something that is entertainment treasure to you? What is your favorite show, video game, music, anything like that? What is something that is entertainment treasure to you? When you look at it, what is something that's entertainment treasure?
Entertainment treasure. Are we talking about just a project? Or
Anything.
Entertainment treasure. I don't know. I think just a general category would be film. I mean, there's so many films that I like, and my favorite film of all time would probably be Amadeus. It's sort of the story of Wolfgang Amadeus, like, and just the music and the sets and the costumes and everything.
Awesome.
But there's something about film. The treasure for me is just filmmaking, because when you're watching a film that's got a really good story and it's really well produced, I mean, you get so engaged that you sort of detach from yourself, and you're in this whole different world. And there's something so magical about that. I know with kids it's easier, because kids, we accept that Edie and Waffle are real animals, and they're we don't know they're puppets. And there's something so magical about that aspect of entertainment that so that's the real treasure for me, is just the ability to get escape from life and enjoy this sort of fantasy story or fantasy show for a brief period.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
Gentlemen, I got to take off, but it's been a pleasure meeting you,
all right,
hanging out with you. And
thank you.
Mason, I got to tell you, you were like, I was looking at your camera, and once I just felt like the guy from Men in Black, just watching this with the sunglasses on you.
Oh, because it's so sunny out, I can't usually handle the bright light.
All right.
All right.
You guys are awesome.
Thank you, Edward.
Thanks.
I'll give you the petition and everything.
Well, he'll send you. He'll send you the link when it comes out. Maybe you can send it to other people to help us get more people on
help
here.
us get more people on this show. Anything.
We'll get the
I
guy
got to take off. Mason's starting to scare me.
Okay.
We'll get the guy to do Bozark. We'll get the guy to design Bozark that
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
All right. Thank you.
Take care, gentlemen.
Thank you, Mr. Edward.
You too.
See ya.
Bye.
Have a good day. You're worth it.
All right. Wow. Wow, guys. Wow. What a great interview was that, guys. Like, I got to say, that was awesome.
I know, right?
Yeah.
That had to be my only
we're still
best
rolling
interview this year
now,
so far.
but
Mason's double being on the
Yeah, we are still
Mason's
rolling, and I want to just say
co-host.
these things. He might be off, but I'm going to say a few things to our guests before I wrap everything up here for this interview. So, guys, I just want to say, once again, guys, I want to thank you guys for bringing me up to 20 episodes this year. Thank you guys so much. This has been awesome. Now, there are going to be some new changes coming up within the next, going into 2024. There are going to be changes. So make sure you be on the look. Be on, if anybody wants to co-host, they can co-host. But we are looking for some good people to help out. So if you would like to help out, please do. Please do. We're always looking for co-host.
We're gonna try to get this on Spotify and all that other stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna try to
year.
get it on some audio stuff. We're gonna do some archive
video.
We're gonna probably move some of this on archive, and we're gonna probably move this to maybe either SoundCloud or Adius, or maybe Google Pod, Google.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll be wherever.
But we'll be wherever. I mean, if Wyatt can hook some of this up on Spotify, if he has a Spotify, if he wants to hook some of this up, he can definitely do that. But we are looking at other streaming platforms where you guys can listen to this. And but the intro is going to be the same. Everything's going to be the same, guys. So But thank you guys for watching this interview. We hope you guys enjoyed this, and I want to know, what are some of you guys' favorite interviews this year? And I also want to know, who would you guys like to see? So
request guests, guys. We need requests. Comment down below. Who do you want to see? We'll get them. We'll try to.
Thank you, guys, and also make sure there is always entertainment treasure wherever you are, guys. Bye.
See you next year. Last interview. See you
Merry
next
Christmas,
year.
folks.
Have a safe Christmas.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for watching this episode of the Entertainment Treasure Talk. We hope that you had fun and that you enjoyed the show. If you enjoyed this episode of the podcast, maybe you'd like to watch or hear more episodes of the show. The link to the playlist is in the description. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe for more upcoming episodes. And don't forget that you're awesome and that you too are filled with entertainment treasure. See you next time for another great episode of the podcast. Peace out.